Good morning. This is my second trip here at our Victorian Schoolhouse with Carrie Sheehan, and here's a second segment that I promised you. So, good morning, Carrie.
Good morning, Grace. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Hey, listen, so we took a tour. It's just the cutest school ever. Much more than I expected. It's nice and cool in here right now. But let me ask you this. We talked about when you opened the school, how long you've had it, the difference between a preschool and a daycare. So now let me ask you, you have such a big school. What's the age range to your school or the kids that you accept here?
I'm actually licensed from 2 years old to 4.9 pre-K.
Okay, great. So 2 years old. Does that mean they're potty trained?
No, they're not.
How do you handle that?
We put diapers on them. We train them when they're ready.
You know, that's a really good feature because a lot of daycare, when I had my children, they didn't even want children that was not potty trained. So that's so wonderful of you. I'm so proud of you. Here's another question. As big as the school is, how many, let me ask you this, how many children do you have in your school?
We have about 35 currently, and we have some on our waiting list as well.
Waiting list to get in or for?
Waiting list to get in because they're not quite two.
Okay.
Yeah, and waiting list, basically, waiting list from either out-of-staters or, just waiting for the age, correct age, yeah.
All right. Having that many children, what's the ratio in terms of teachers per children or child?
That's a really good question, Grace. And, children, of course, they always need you always need a visual on them. So in order for you to be licensed, you have to have one teacher that is a fully qualified teacher having all the credentials per 12. So it's one teacher fully credentialed per 12 children. And then once you add an aide in there, you can have up to 15 children in one classroom. Okay,
so that's a lot of kids, right? To me, that's a lot of kids, but I'm sure you're handling it very well.
It is a lot of kids, but, you just have to keep their interests up and just keep them active. So you get to, go with your rhythm all day long and, you're into your activities, whether it's a continuation from yesterday. They love to read. So, they don't have a really long attention span, especially the 2-year-olds. So you have to keep them pretty much active and engaged.
Okay, I know this is a busy street to Visadero. That's where you're located at. Is there parking? Is there parking for your customers?
Well, that's the biggest challenge in San Francisco is having enough space. So I do have one white zone right up front where the parents can actually drop off the children. But a lot of our clients here are neighborhood children. So they either get walked in here or they get strollered in here, bicycled in, even skateboarding. So they've got all kinds of transportation. But just one slot, and I've really never had any complaints from the parents, so I guess it's working out pretty well for now.
Well, yeah, having all these children, yeah. Okay, special programs. I know you keep me entertained with things that you mentioned earlier. Do you have special programs like field trips, etc.?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We are really close to Alamo Square Park, but whether you know or not know, right now they're under construction. It's a beautiful park that's very famous in San Francisco, actually, because the program Full House was filmed there. So it's just a couple blocks, or I think it's just one block behind us. Yeah, so during the summer, which just passed, the teachers are more able to go on a longer field trip or a little bit more adventurous, if you will. For instance, they just came back from a cable car excursion with the volunteers, with the parent volunteers, and also, our children are here. All the teachers' children are here. They're roughly 15 years old on up. So they were able to help us last summer, which is really cute. I've got some fantastic pictures, and it just puts a smile to my face, obviously.
Okay, free help right now. I'm only kidding. Okay, so that's great. A lot of special programs you got going, field trips. Alamo Park is a great park. Here's one that a lot of parents sometimes are interested because they're not all full-time parents working. Do you have full-time and part-time programs?
Yes, we do. We try and accommodate all the families because I know how it is, to want to be with your children. And now that, we're in the world of computers and whatnot, they are able to work from home. So we do accommodate. We only require that they be here at least 2 days, if not 3. We prefer 3 days, 3 full days, as opposed to, 3 half days, even as opposed to 2 full days. We believe that if the children are here, they, consistency is the key with children. They learn and they actually adapt better in this kind of group environment.
Here's a question that a lot of parents like to ask but really don't want to, so I'm just going to put it out there for them.
Okay.
What are the costs, monthly or bi-monthly?
I have a website. If you go under www.ourvictorianschoolhouse.com, you'll find it under programs. There's a little brochure that you can pop up, and it has all the pricing on there for part-time and full-time.
Okay, great. Let me ask you this. I was a mom once, years ago, and there was a daycare back then. It was very expensive for me. And my question was always, when the parents go on vacation, are they still committed to paying for their child's space while they go on vacation? So do they get a discount for that, or how do you handle that?
We're a pretty accommodating preschool. Case by case, we'd like to look at it, but I would say that more often than not, we actually discount it or, waive it even. Depends on, how long they're going to be out there for, or really it depends on how long the children have been here as well. Because if they're loyal to us, of course, we'll give them breaks.
Okay, that's really good to know. I'm sure that's really on their mind. And here's another important question. Do you administer medication?
We can. There is a form that the parents have to fill out, and the prescription has to come with its original container so we can read it and we can dispense it. And we keep it locked away in our medicine cabinet.
Okay, great. So how many days a year are you open?
We're open 365 days a year, 2 weeks of vacation, and all the major holidays, including there's, a Friday before Labor Day. I think that's the only oddball one. But there is a bulletin board that I have to have all the licensing requirements on there. And down at the bottom, there's also our vacation and our holidays for the whole year. So we actually work on the upcoming year schedule, the Christmas before the New Year.
So you're closed 2 weeks of the year, then, I take it.
Correct.
And those 2 weeks are?
The 2 weeks are typically during the summer months, and one during the Christmas vacation into the New Year.
Okay, great. I'm sure a lot of moms are at home and sometimes are interested in opening up their own business. What kind of advice can you give them?
I think the only advice I would probably have to say is be patient in getting your own first child, because it is a new business. Having to deal with new moms, of course they're going to be very cautious, and they should be. For me, it was a little bit challenging just to get my first child into my family daycare. You just have to say the right things, be very convincing, and be very genuine, of course, and make sure that, you actually calm the parent down. You'll do everything that you can and just reassure them, and so they can feel your heart.
So if they have any questions about opening a daycare, how would they get in contact with you?
Again, on my website, my phone number is on there. My name is on there. But here it is. It's 415-531-9376. Feel free to call me.
And the website is ourvictorianschoolhouse.com. ourvictorianschoolhouse.com. A great school if you know anyone who's interested or needs a daycare. Or professionally, if they're interested in opening a daycare, Carrie Sheehan is the know-how person. Have a great day, and thank you very much. Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you, Grace. Bye.